Good day and welcome to the EZY Switchgear podcast. And today I've got the privilege to have Marc Samons from Marc Transformers here with me. And he's an industry expert on transformers and transformer maintenance, installation and commissioning of big systems. Marc, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Dankie.
So, Marc, tell me, how did you start in the industry? I mean, you've been here longer than I'm alive.
Okay, no, not so long. It's now 31 years. When my son was born, I resigned from my previous work, and my dad said, come in and do marketing and finances, and then you grow from there, and you do, So for 30 years I've done this. So I'm mostly in transformer maintenance, cables, joints, inspections, installations. And I have worked on 250 MVAs, 400,000 volts, right down to 25 kVAs on the same day. In 2007, I did a course with Tom Dalton. He was training on behalf of Eskom on transformer oil maintenance, and so that helped me to be an oil specialist. Fluidex was involved, and then Eskom, yes.
So you started in the oil,
yes,
and then you transferred into more bigger project. I remember you told me about a project once where there was a breakdown of a big transformer, and then everyone came together. Do you remember that story?
Yeah. So normally sometimes there was the big one at Eikenhof for City Power, where we actually heard about this in the news. I told my guys to pack. And by the time City Power phoned us, we were by the gate already. So Eikenhof actually had 440 MVAs. They lost one, 88,000 in, 44. They lost one, so they were running on 3 units. And then with this, I was there a month before to inspect the unit, and I told them this tap has never been serviced. There's problems. The guy that was there from City Power told me for 9 years nothing was done here. And I told him the tap switch is going to be problems, and a month later that tap exploded.
So you can see into the future.
Yeah, well, the flame went to the grass, the whole thing caught fire, and it was worse because of there was no bird spikes, and all the birds were doing their thing on that transformer. And that explosion, that transformer burned for 2 or 3 days constant, because you always have oil and heat.
Yeah, so it fuels itself the whole time.
Yes, and the next transformer had external damage. The last transformer had more damage. And we were actually in the newspaper with, at that time, Mr. Mushaba was still the mayor of the area. And obviously, if Eikenhof doesn't have water, no one has got water in 3 days. From Sandton to Soweto, right ever. And we got in the newspaper for switching on that sub in 48 hours.
48 hours.
We took out the broken transformers, put another transformer in, fixed the other one. We got 2 transformers running in 48 hours.
Yeah.
The third one in about 10 days, and the last one they're still working on the, but yes, that's the type of things that we do, yes.
So in the market currently we have quite a few transformer manufacturers, and you tend to work with a lot of them. There's a lot of skill and knowledge in South Africa on transformers.
Yeah.
How does it hold up with the international standards?
Look, on the smaller transformers, there's quite a few suppliers. I've known a lot of the suppliers. I've always kept an open negotiation relationship with all of them, even my competition, because we can help each other in getting things done. So that helps. But we have a lot of expertise in South Africa, a lot of good companies. We have also recently imported transformers from China. The delivery is much quicker. I would say the quality is just as well as what we do here. But there is some very good suppliers in South Africa. Obviously, when you look for something like a 20 MVA, you're going to have trouble. You can't get it, you have to import it and do that. I'm mostly involved on the oil, so on the oil sample can tell you what's going to happen, and then from there you take it from there, yes. Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of the trends in our industry, is the energy market growing? What have you seen?
I think there's always a demand for transformers. Even if you look at the companies like Actom, they have a long delivery. Obviously, because of their long delivery, we can then offer them something on rent, or offer them a unit until the new unit comes, or offer them a refurbished unit at a good price with the same guarantees. So the industry demand is still there. We can say there's load shedding, but the demand is still there. There's always place for expansion, old transformers that must be replaced. Recently, we've been very involved with projects with generators, step-up systems, and also very involved with solar, with special transformers for solar.
Yeah, that's quite a unique field, right?
Yeah, so at the moment it's actually quite a percentage of our business. So we help shopping centers, a lot of places with metering, so that you don't put the power back into the grid. So we can meter it and help the inverter to switch off before you put it back into the grid. So yes, that is also very busy. That also helps, yes.
Great stuff. And then in terms of the market currently, do you think load shedding is coming back?
I think Eskom is fairly fine. I'm concerned about municipalities that don't do maintenance. I always say to my customers, you have a plan B. It's not going to get better. So there is still a lot of work out there. There is companies that spend a lot of money and upgrade systems, which is great. But I mean, yesterday I was in Lichtenburg. They've been off for 3 to 4 weeks.
It's ridiculous.
And that's the whole town. No water, no electricity. Not just electricity, not even water.
So transformers is supposed to last quite long.
Yes.
What influenced the life of the transformer dramatically?
I think the big thing, people think, I had a customer that bought a transformer 4 years later, which is still new. He had to spend 300,000 rand because the oil ran out up to the tap and it exploded. So a transformer is like a car. Do maintenance, do the checks, do your earthing, make sure there's no loose connection, do the infrared scanning. Take a sample, let the lab tell you what's going on inside. Is there loose connection? Is there gas? Is there water? And if there is a problem, transformers tend to hit on a graph like this. It goes very quickly. So sort it out. If there's a problem, get it done, get it sorted. So just look after it like you look after your car, look after your transformer. And then obviously where that goes, the switchgear. That's your protection. I just came from a customer now where there's a 500 kVA, 25 amps, and the settings is on 200 amps. Where that fuse is 8 times bigger than
it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. So, yes, just do what you have to do.
So, we work together quite a lot, and in a lot of cases we get to a site where there's transformers and switchgear, and then we help each other with the switchgear maintenance and with the transformer maintenance. But I see a lot of sites where the people neglect to replace the silica gel.
Correct.
I see places where you can see the thing is leaking and people just don't care. How do you address that? How do you what do I have to tell people to get the message to take care of their stuff?
The interesting thing as well is you can say, but it's insured, but the insurance is going to say, where's your maintenance?
Yeah. So, and they do it more nowadays.
Yeah. So, and I'm not. So, do your maintenance. Spend your 3 or 10,000 rand instead of 300,000 rand. Just do it. Do your inspections. Check your oil. Look at your transformer oil analysis. That's how you do it.
So I see also a lot of the larger shopping groups and malls and things like that. They employ people like you and like me to actually be a service level agreement supplier to them, to say, look, once every X amount of time, just do an inspection of all my sites.
Yes.
And that's a very good way to do things. The hospitals are also getting on board with that.
I think it's just get someone there to do it on a regular basis. Check your oil levels. If a transformer is oil, it should be fine. That's the basics. Yeah. But so check your oil levels, check your earthing, check for loose connections, check that your maintenance on your switchgear is done. Then you are safe. I always say, and that's interesting, I say I work myself out of work, and then people people look at me like that. Said because if I repair a leak, it shouldn't leak next year. If I do the oil and I dry the oil, and your breather is in place, I don't have work next year.
Yeah, you don't have
so
to do it again.
Just do it right. A lot of times I say to people, put a bigger breather on. If you know your outside unit and your atmosphere is wet, put a bigger breather on. Keep the moisture from coming in.
That's correct.
So when I see a wet breather, I like it. I always say to the customer, I've got work coming.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's nice. Okay, and then tell me, when you are working with switchgear, you have a preference. What is that?
Look, obviously oil is a problem, especially if you haven't serviced the unit, you are looking for trouble working, switching, doing anything on that. So normally I would prefer to go before that and try and find a safer switch that I know it's been done. If it's the RM6, SF6 or a vacuum, where it's safe, rather go there. My guys know that they wear a suit if necessary, a switching suit, a flash suit. Not a working suit. A lot of people think you work in that suit, but it's only a flash suit. And then there's things like don't take shortcuts. Yesterday I had to fight with people that were using clamps on a transformer to get the power for the machine, and that someone can get hurt because that fault level is too high. If I catch anyone using clamps, big trouble. So yeah, it's all about do things right.
Use the right technology.
Get the right partner on. Electricity field is so big, you cannot do everything. Get your power factor specialist, get your switchgear specialist, get your generator specialist, and you work with it.
Okay, Marc, so you've been in the industry many years now. What is next?
I think this year I want to focus on bio-oil. Bio-oil is the future. So there is a company in Germiston that now makes bio-oil for South Africa. I think Shell is now also involved in that. And get bio-oil into your transformers. Get it.
What is that? Is that like esters or what?
Yeah, so bio-oil, the advantage to bio-oil is you don't need bunting. It's not an ethnic oil. It can, as I lack, if there's a leak, so what? It's bio-oil. It's got a very high burning point. And it's self-extinguishing.
Oh, wow.
So you can actually, if you have a fault in a transformer, it actually takes the fault away because it's taking that gas away all the time. So you can have 200 water and still 75 kV. So bio-oil is the future. The whole of Europe is full of bio-oil. That's the way to go. And you can take an existing transformer and put bio-oil in.
Oh,
there is a bit of a procedure involved. It's not a normal oil change.
And the paper is fine?
No, it's fine. The paper is fine. You'll extend the life of that transformer. So bio-oil is the future, and I want to work on bio-oil this year. That's what needs to be done in South Africa.
What is the difference in price?
Well, it used to be like 3 times more expensive, but with the current plant in South Africa, it's cheaper than transformer oil.
What?
And there's farmers that are now farming this product. And they're doing that. The oil is made now in Germiston.
Yes.
So the first 6 million litre Eskom and Anglo already booked for themselves.
Wow.
Because they know that's what it's about. It's technology. There is a few changes in your transformer, obviously. I call it fish oil, and when you leave fish oil, it doesn't like the oxidation. So you need to look at your breathers, look at your system. You change your transformer a little bit. But I've done transformers like at Israel Mall, put bio-oil in. You don't need a firewall. You don't need bunting. It just takes the insurance risk away when you use bio-oil. So that's my aim this year.
Great stuff.
Okay.
Thank you, Marc, for coming and sharing some knowledge with us. And we look forward to 2025.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.